Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of 1998 Represent. All right, today we're talking about Goldeneye, and I know it's a 1997 game. However, I do feel it came out late enough in 1997 that it was still widely played in 1998. This was probably my main game up until for 1998 on the N64, probably until WCW versus NWO Revenge came out, and then also then Ocarina of Time right after that, like a couple months later. But GoldenEye, came out in 1997. I have some notes here I've written down. Let me just review these here. Um, this was kind of the console that I got my N64 to play this. I got my N64, I want to say, in like October of 1997. Went in, we got a Walmart, and was asking if they had GoldenEye. They were understandably sold out of it at the time. So my first game for the N64 was actually Shadows of the Empire, which we picked up, and then like a week later they had GoldenEye back in stock, and we picked it up then. Um, let's see here. Like I said, played it until like pretty much all through 1998 until WCW versus NWO Revenge came out, and then Ocarina of Time. The controls, if you try to play the controls now, it's out on Switch and Xbox Game Pass, I believe. The controls on the Switch version are kind of bad. I guess the controls were pretty bad back then, but we really didn't know in a few years after that game came out they would have, dual analog sticks or things like that. I'm kind of still surprised I was able to beat the game initially with just that N64 controller using like the default control settings. There's the controls apparently are better on the new Xbox version than they are on the Switch version. You can modify your Switch controllers to play a little bit better, make it more like a modern first-person shooter. But the controls are, I guess, and were still pretty bad. They were good for 1997 or 1990, yeah, 97, 98, because kind of we didn't know what we'd be getting, like how controllers would evolve and that kind of thing. So like, again, I'm still so surprised I was able to kind of beat the game with that original N64 controller layout. I think I was still using the 1.1 controller setting. I know like 1.2, if you go into the options, it's I believe Solitaire is probably the better control style. One thing I would like to talk about is the level design of the game is really awesome. It's a lot of it is based on the 1995 movie. There's a few levels they added in to kind of just pad out the game a little bit of levels that were in the movie, but James Bond never went to, like the surface levels, and he never like set foot in the bunker level, but they created those levels to kind of just add extra stuff. I don't think Frigate was in the movie. I mean, I guess like you could say Frigate is like the beginning of the movie where they're testing the helicopter, but you're not, James Bond is actually not doing anything there anyway. He's kind of just there and gets arrested or something like that. The level design, like I said, is really great because there's 3 levels of difficulty per level, and generally each level sometimes there's levels where like the objectives don't change, but the objectives usually on higher difficulties have more and more objectives. So the first level on Agent, you're just going through get from point A to point B, like basically start the level and then bungee jump off the dam and you're good to go. On Secret Agent, you have to take out all the security alarms. There's like I think 4 of them. You have to shoot all those alarms and then jump off the bungee jump off the dam. In the third difficulty on Double O Agent, it takes you to a part of the level that you're not even exploring on the other 2 difficulties. You can if you want to, but there's no objectives for you to do on Agent and Secret Agent that go below the dam. But on Double O Agent, you have to install a secret modem. You then have to go down into the kind of like underneath the dam and like download some data, and then still neutralize all the alarms and still bungee jump off of the dam. In Facility, there's a few extra objectives added to. I think you get to meet up with like the 008, the not 006, but you meet up with Dr. Doak and he gives you a door decoder. Facility, one of the best levels ever designed. The music in that level is just insane. The game, let's see. So we've talked about the level design. The multiplayer is pretty much where this game kind of was being played in 1998. This played all over like my high school. People were having parties like multiple times, like per week, probably on the weekends as well, just playing GoldenEye, like playing just the 4-player split screen multiplayer, which is it was probably the first game I remember playing multiplayer 4-player split screen for a video game. I remember there were other games that supported it. I think they created like multi-tap controllers and things like that for like the SNES for certain games and other systems. but Goldeneye was kind of the first one that I really got into it. And then I remember, I think it was like in the spring of 1998, there was a huge, I think it was like an IGN article. I don't know if I can even still find it, if the Wayback Machine even still has it, but it was how to unlock a ton of other multiplayer characters. It was basically like you're unlocking like the developer team. Um, Basically, like character you play as, it doesn't really matter, but just the fact that there was now like a ton of other players or characters that you could play as in multiplayer was pretty cool. Level design was great. Perfect Dark. You can't talk about GoldenEye without talking about Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark is probably undeniably the better overall game. It has better weapons, better levels. The multiplayer is better because you can do play against AI. Basically, you create I think they're called stimulants or something like that. Yeah, simulants. I don't remember exactly, but they were basically just AI bots you could play against, and then you could set they had personality types, or one was like Venge bot. So it would, if somebody were to defeat that character or that bot, it would then go out of its way to try to defeat that player that took it out. So it would basically like want revenge. There were some that would just hoard weapons. There were some that would just run around like crazy. It was pretty cool. But like I said, Perfect Dark overall the better game. I just have better memories of GoldenEye because it came out when I was in my junior year of high school, and it kind of dominated that entire school year, like from like the fall to like the spring basically, because this is the game everybody was playing. When Perfect Dark came out, and I was already in college, and I really wasn't playing multiplayer games. Like I wasn't really doing the multiplayer with anybody else at that time, so I definitely have better memories of GoldenEye doing that. Speedrunning, this kind of made speedrunning at least a thing that I now kind of know about. I'm not good at it. I can't really do it. But all the different cheats in this game are unlocked by playing through a level on a certain difficulty under a certain time limit. And the first one that I remember getting, probably by accident, and probably the same one that everybody probably unlocked by accident, was beating Runway under 5 minutes on Agent. And like Runway is like you can beat it in like, I don't know how, like 30 or 40 seconds if you're good. Like you basically just go out of the room, get the key, get to the plane, you're done. And that gives you, I think it was DK mode, which is just basically big head mode, but like I think it was like Donkey Kong, and they have like longer arms too. It was pretty cool. But it kind of introduced that. I remember, like I never was able to actually get the invincibility cheat because you had to go through facility on Double O Agent under like 2 minutes or 5 seconds or something like that. The one I was probably the most proud of was beating Archons on Double O Agent under like under like a minute 20 to get I think it's invisibility, which I think is just a more fun cheat anyway because you kind of just explore the levels and kind of mess around with guards not attack you and things like that. The turrets will still attack you though if you're playing a level that has those turrets. I think also this kind of, not necessarily for me because I was kind of already a James Bond fan, but I think it definitely spiked the popularity of 007. I remember, like, after this game came out, TBS had a huge James Bond marathon. It was, like, in December, and they were playing everything from basically Doctor No, I think, up to License to Kill. I don't think they played GoldenEye, because it was only a couple years old at the time, or, like 2 years old. But I think it was basically everything from, like I said, Doctor No to License to Kill. And the James Bond films that I was more familiar with, I had never seen in theaters. They were mostly just always on network TV, and it was mostly the Sean Connery stuff that I was aware of. I was aware of the Roger Moore movies because I would always see, for some reason, when I went to the video store as a kid, there was always A View to a Kill was always just there. Not a great movie, but it's pretty cheesy, but it's like I think I like it more than some of the other later Roger Moore movies. I think I like it more than Octopussy and more than probably like what's it called, like For Your Eyes Only and stuff like that. But that marathon, I think this game kind of helped just introduce James Bond to probably like a new generation of fans. GoldenEye, the movie, I rewatched like a week or so ago. That movie's still really, really good. But the James Bond series, and GoldenEye was actually the first James Bond movie I was able to see in theaters. I think when License to Kill came out, I was like 9, and I didn't really, the theater where I saw this movie, like they never would get stuff on time because there was only 2 screens, and like they would usually not, there were movies that they would just not get sometimes. I didn't see GoldenEye until 1996, though, because it was, again, that same theater where GoldenEye came out in, like, November of that year, and I don't think the theater that I went to got it until, like, January or February of 1996, so, like, 2 months later, something like that. But Goldeneye is really still, the movie is still awesome. Like I said, I think the game kind of just introduced James Bond to a whole nother level of, or a new generation of fans. I think there were plans to put the other actors in, but they couldn't really nail down the licensing for those characters. And I read recently that certain levels were kind of intended to be played as those other actors. Like I think somebody was saying Caverns, because like a lot of the levels, like I said, like don't aren't actually in the movie. Caverns looks like it was something that could have been from the first Sean Connery movie, which is Doctor No, and then obviously Aztec and Egyptian are kind of based on the Roger Moore uh, series of films because you deal with Jaws in Aztec, you deal with the Moonraker laser and from the Moonraker movie, and then in Egyptian you're dealing with Baron Samedi or Baron Samedi, however it's pronounced, from You Only Live. I think that's not You Only Live Twice. First Roger Moore one, I think. Oh, that's oh yeah, Live and Let Die. Sorry, You Only Live Twice is a Connery movie, but I think it became more popular. Like basically based on this game. A little bit later in this video, I will switch over and we'll do some gameplay. I've beaten the game on Switch on Secret Agent so far. I don't have a way to record off Switch, so I'll be doing it off an N64 emulator. But like I said, the game is just really fun. Even though it did come out in 1997, I think its impact on gaming was still widely felt throughout 1998, and maybe even up until Perfect Dark came out, just a few years later. I know they were supposed to come out with a remake in 2008, which was the Xbox Live Arcade version, which I guess was pretty much done. But I think there was like a licensing thing with Nintendo where they kind of prevented it from coming out. I know some people were kind of upset that the version that they put out now, or the more recent version for Xbox and Switch, is the original version and not the Xbox Live version. I guess the Xbox Live version it leaked online somewhere, so it might be available to get. I haven't tried it, so I'm not really sure. But GoldenEye was just a really fun time in gaming. Like I said, it was one of the first games I remember playing, like the first person shooter I remember playing on consoles where it actually felt like first person shooters could work on consoles, and now it's kind of kind of paved way to like Perfect Dark, of course, because it's the same company. But like games like Halo, Call of Duty, probably like adapt the stuff that was in GoldenEye and just made it better overall as far as like controls and what have you. I remember reading on Reddit a few weeks ago once the game came out, somebody was asking where the regenerating health was in GoldenEye, and it was just like, oh, nope, there's no regenerating health in GoldenEye. That wasn't a thing until I think Halo had the shield regeneration, but then also you still had health in that game, and I think Call of Duty 2 specifically is where this health regeneration became like kind of like a staple in first-person shooters. But yeah, GoldenEye, there's no health regeneration, but if you're lucky, there's maybe body armor in some of the levels. But we're going to flip the camera around. We're going to just do a little bit of gameplay from GoldenEye, play a few levels, and we'll be back with that in just a moment. All right, we are now back with the gameplay. Going to leave this intro in just because the intro, it's a banger. Great music. Going to play a few levels, just let you see the game. If you haven't seen it, of course, like I think if you are into this game, you obviously have seen it, and we obviously played it a bunch, so. Alright, so we're just going to play through a few levels here. Start off with just Damned is just the most basic, so let's do it on Agent. It's basically just get from point A to point B. Music on this level is iconic too, because it's the first level you're playing through the game. Of course, I'm doing this on an emulator. I have custom controls on this 360 controller here to make it more like a traditional first-person shooter. Like I said, I'm only going to play through a couple levels, but we'll probably try to do maybe a longer gameplay video as part of this series. There's a guy over there. I admit, I don't know if that guy, I've ever seen that guy over there before. Or I've just ignored him for 25 years now. Entirely possible. This is the animations on the guards is classic in this game. Like, probably gonna go through this level and then facility, and like this facility is like chef's kiss, the best one of the best levels in video game history. I better stop that guy. He's gonna get to the alarm. God, that guy's just, the animations are great. I always liked the D44. I thought it was like a, I think it's faster than the PP7. So let me see, PP7. DD44. Yeah, feels faster. Obviously louder too in certain levels. It's not going to be good, but aiming in the game is never all that great, unfortunately, but that's the emulator being a little bit buggy, but I unfortunately don't have a way to record off of my Switch. Alright, there we go. First level down. And we're going to go with Facility just to play Facility, because Facility is amazing. Let's go with it there. And a lot of the details in the movie are in this level. Like the staircase that you come down initially is like the exact same kind of layout as in the movie. So a lot of attention to detail back then too. Yeah, knocked his hat off. Alright, cool. Oh, why am I opening all the wrong doors here? Alright. Oh, that guy pulled the grenade out? Just the amount of stuff you can do in this level just for fun is crazy. There's like whole other areas like back there you can explore and mess around with. All right, let's go talk to 006. But yeah, there's a whole area like above there you can explore, that lab you can explore. There's nothing to do in there, but... Alright, here we go. We're about to end the level. But yeah, in the movie, it's cool because you can, like, once you beat the level, you can either go out the door, or, like in the movie, you can actually go off on this conveyor belt. So there we go, that objective is complete. Let's actually go... Let's actually exit through here. Alright, so that's just a couple of the levels from the game. And like I said, this game was still... I was still playing the hell out of this game well into 1998, so... It's an awesome game. I may do another video just maybe playing through the entirety of the game, maybe on Agent. I don't know if I can do it on Secret Agent again, but I did beat the game on Secret Agent on Switch. I haven't beat Aztec on Secret Agent just because Aztec on Secret Agent is still insanely difficult. But that's going to do it for this video. Thanks again for watching. Remember to comment, like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Have a good one.